In today's video, I'm showing you guys how I make this crop top with long pockets. So sit back, relax, have juice, and enjoy the video. So for this top, I have my back and my front up two as usual. The length I'm using here is about 20, and that's enough for the sleeve. And then for the normal length, remember the front will be shorter than the back, but how we are going to work on that. For the normal length, I think 22. Joining allowance and this one, everything, I have 22 years. Our shoulder slope as usual. Come in here and use 3 first. I don't really like working with nails because it's always so difficult. People that can do that, I love you guys so much. So for my arm opening, I'm using 13 because I want like a very wide opening. 13, and then I'm going to come in here by, let's see, 4. I don't want to do too much. 4, and then cut it out, right? So this is what we have. And now for the neck depth, for the back, I'm going to use like 2 inches, and for the front, I'm going to use like 7 inches because it will be a V-neck. And then I'm going to extend the neck width by extra half of an inch. That's 3.5 inches. I'm going to just connect that of the front, indicate your front. Okay, just chill. Now let's cut it out. So I'll cut out my arm opening. Just bring this end so you go. I'll cut out my neck for the back. Shoulder slope cut. Okay, now piece. This will be my front, this will be my back. Let's take it out first because we're working on the front. Remember, this is the neckline. From this point that you want your neckline to be, come in by 1 inch. Just come in by 1 inch all the way down. Your V-neck should start from this 1 inch down here. Please, like I said, don't. We are cutting this point out. Let's cut some. This is what we have. Now the front is cropped. Okay, so now on this, from this punch, which is the main line, we determine how cropped you want yours to be. Mine, I want it to be, I'll mark 19. You take what is remaining here, which is 3, come here, mark 3, take the 3 off. So now I've taken this off. This is my front now, and this is my back. Let's start joining our front and join together. So now I'll close off my shoulder and then fold, double fold my up hem. Fold the hems separately. This is where we are right now. I closed off my shoulder, and I also closed off my hem. Remember, the back is longer than the front, so this is where my front is. I closed off the hem, I closed off the hem of the back. I also closed off the hem of both sides of my sleeve. So the next thing I'm doing is to close the both sides together. So after closing the both sides, this is what I have. For this back, you can use a hemming gum to, glue it down after you overlock your inseam. The next thing I'm going to do is to take measurement of my neckline from here all the way to the back and down here. That would be for our strap. So you take whatever you have. Let me measure mine. I'm just highlighting this, so please do yours correctly. I already did mine, but I'm showing you guys what I'm doing, what I did actually. So mine was about 44 all round. Now this point that I'm marking here is my neckline for the front. So you need to also take note of what your neckline from the back, from the front, running to the back to the front is. Okay, so now let's take that. Take my tip from this point and just measure round, two, round here. And I have about 22 and a half, 22 and a quarter, but I'll make it 22 and a half. So that aside, and then this is the strap that I made. Ensure to measure. The full length of mine is 44. Remember I told you guys, but this strap measures about 50. We'll cut off the excess, and then the width of the strap is 5 inches. 5 inches, okay? Now, I already ironed this close, so you fold this over. Our round neck is 22 and a half. Half of that is going to turn our tape to 22 and a half. Half of that is 11 and a quarter. So since we folded, you're going to come from here and mark 11 and a quarter. I'll open this up like so. Just open it up. The part, you come here again and measure your 11 and a quarter, which is here. So this is where my 11 and a quarter is. So now this midlines on our strap, I will sew it. Sew from here down, leaving this point unsewn for our neckline. All right. So after I just sew this point open, so when we open it up, okay, this is what we have. Okay, when you open it, this is what we have. This point attached to the neckline is wide open, and this entire point is closed. All right, so now I'll take my dress. Ensure to notch the midpoint is here. Notch it just a tiny bit, and as well notch the midpoint of our neckline at the back. Just a tiny bit of notch, don't need to do too much. You can see. I'll take then place it. Take this notched point here and take the notched point at the back. Right side facing each other. I'll go ahead and start sewing this down. You're going to just sew on this point down to this point. Now let's do that. So after stitching, this is what we have. I didn't finish stitching on this end. I left, as you can see, this part, the hem needs to be finished properly. So I'll go ahead to fold it into two before attaching this end. So we have a neat finishing on this part as well. Let's do the pockets. I used a length of 11 and a width of 8. Okay, the width is 8, the length is 11, and this part is cut on fold. This cut on fold, length 11 with 8. We have 2, right? So now I'll go ahead and sew all around, leaving a few inches open to turn it with.
We'll need 4 pockets and not 2, please. So make yours 4. The next thing I'm doing is to mark where I want the pockets to sit on my top. From my placket or my shoulder strap, I'll come in on each side by 2 inches. And from the hem of my front, I will go up by 4 inches. So 4 inches of the pocket will be attached to the top. After marking that, I'll take my pieces that I cut for my pocket, place 2 against each other, and on the length I'll mark down 4 inches on both sides. This 4 inches will be attached to the top, and go ahead to sew the other points down. To sew the other points down and leave the 4 inches open. I'll repeat the same thing for the other 2 pieces. That is why I said we need 4. So this is what it's looking like right now, and we are almost coming to the end of this tutorial. I love it. Now place your pockets on the left and on the right side on the points that we already marked on the top and stitch it down. After stitching both pockets down, this is the end of the tutorial. I absolutely am in love with this result. If you like the length, you can keep it, but like I said in the beginning, if you want something longer at the back or at the front, add more inches. And that is it. We have come to the end of this tutorial. Love you. Bye.